Good afternoon, all my classmates taking emergency management, and this course is on holistic recovery. Again, it's Doug Harper here from the Great White North. It's actually not snowing outside yet, but snow comes tomorrow, so we'll see how that takes place. During this segment, I'm going to do my discussion on the media, and specifically how the media can facilitate or discourage a sustainable recovery. The first thing we think about with media is they can be a huge asset, a huge tool for us, especially in the emergency services. Myself being in fire, we can use the media to get information and get a messaging out to the public. Whether it's an evacuation order we need persuade the public, or if it's shelter in place. So the media definitely is a huge asset for us in emergency services. But for this model, we want to talk about recovery. Some things I want to touch upon is how the media is used. We all see the images of a hurricane, for example, the events this past year of Texas, and of course in Florida. What the wildfires out in California and in British Columbia that we had here in Canada. And the media really populates our TV screens, our media print with the images and the disaster zone itself. And those resonate. I think those touch upon the public. It's the recovery phase where the media quite often will basically pack up their toys and go home. So how can we facilitate the use of the media? I think the first thing we need to consider is we need to engage the media. That's really important for the public sector liaison people, often the politicians. It could be city managers, etc. They need to work with the media. And again, this is something where emergency services, we've packed up. We've pretty much gone home. This is going to be a longer process utilizing the media for recovery. So we need to get our local politicians, state politicians involved and really relationship build with the media. I think that's paramount and how we can use the media. Because the concern that I see is the public will forget about what happened in a city XYZ in the state of Texas, for example. If they're having hardship, we all see that, but in 1 year later, we often forget about what city XYZ is dealing with. So we need to really create good partnership relationships with the media. It's kind of like fishing. I like to fish, and we throw the lure in the lake, and the fish takes on the bait. So we need to engage the media. Show them where we're at, give them some things to chew on, basically, and some personal real life stories of families and how the community is building, and basically want to keep the media fresh for the recovery process itself. One of the things that I also thought about when I did this segment on the media is the media at the same time can be pretty mean. In the U.S., of course, and we're Canadians, we watch the politics in the U.S., two diametrically opposed stations, CNN and Fox. I'm not going to get any debates there, but we can see there's two different sides of every issue. So I'm going to give you an example. A levee breaks, and the media, for whatever reason, instead of dealing with the hardship of the community, they want to go after why did the levee break. So the media can be a friend or it can be a foe. And if their angle to sell papers and to sell likes and whatever it is on social media now, if their concept and goal is to create this debate cycle, they might be our foe. So we have to be very careful of that. You have to be able to realize that they can hinder the recovery or they can greatly improve the recovery. Once again, back into relationship building with the key players of that community in the rebuilding. And that's something that I think really stands out for myself. Other areas that I think and want to talk about is for the media, how they can bring volunteers on board. The media itself can be used to create excitement for those who want to help. And by getting the civilians, the public involved, the media can really do that. So again, it's like a positive feedback loop. We're all here in science. We all know a negative feedback loop versus a positive feedback loop. We get more people at the table, more people talk about it, and they hopefully will tell two friends, and hey, come on out and see what the community's doing, and let's really get involved. So again, the media plays a huge part in creating that positive feedback loop, I feel, as well. Something else, part of our discussion point here was we're talking about, can they discourage a sustainable recovery? Does the media discourage it? Possibly, when they get into politics. And I've touched on this a few times in some of my different modules. I'm not naive. Politics is around us in life. Politics is here, and not just the US and Canada as well. We're all democratic societies, but politics are a huge part of what we do in our everyday single life. So if politics are getting involved in the media, and they often dovetail, that can make recovery more of a challenge. In other words, again, if the media takes an angle of, why are we wasting the money to rebuild a dam facility or a levee facility? You know, why are we building hurricane-proof buildings down in the state of Florida when the cost factors at 70% to build just meets the building code, for example? We've all learned about sustainability and mitigation. So we as EM managers understand that, but we need to educate the public with that. So the media, again, can be really used to assist EM managers and our goals for sustainability. The other stakeholders themselves, that's part of our other discussion point, and the actions of other stakeholders complement or conflict with the media. Well, again, we see quite often local, state, federal governments, we all see that we need the media. So I think the media can work well with government jurisdictions. That's pretty much something that we see day to day in our lives, basically. Other areas, how the media and the segments that we talked about, business corporations as well. Hey, feel good stories. When a business community Home Depot gives plywood to citizens, or Home Depot provides water, and you see a Home Depot truck showing up. The media loves that, and corporations love that. So again, that's a sector that can dovetail the media as well as business and corporations. Universities, research institutions, and the media. Again, I don't really, something doesn't stand out for me how the media is going to work in that side of it. Obviously, we all need our universities and research facilities, but I had a tough time understanding how the media would overlap with our universities. Nonprofit agencies as well, for sure. Media sound bites, media stories about our NGOs. So again, the media is really bringing this information to the forefront. That's basically sort of what I want to touch upon for today, is about the media and the use of the media in recovery. I think it's a great tool, but what I've learned in the fire service itself on a micro level is we need to engage our media. One of the worst things you can do as a chief officer is if you have a media crew at a fire scene and you ignore them. And you know what? You don't want to do that. I like to tell the press, hey, give me 5 minutes, I'll be back. I'll give you guys a soundbite. I'll give you a little storyline. They like that. They just want to be engaged, and they appreciate being engaged. So the larger scale of things, I think, for recovery is if you engage media, keep them updated on what you're doing for your recovery process, the media is going to be a real good friend. Anyway, that's it. Thanks. Talk to you.